Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen Levack on 104.5, The Team, your home for New York sports. Geoff, second and goal, and the Seattle Seahawks decide to throw the football. Of course, we know now Malcolm Butler with the pick. Were you as surprised as everyone else about the play calling decision at the end of the game in the Super Bowl?
I was pretty surprised in the moment. If you go back and look at it now, and you look at what New England defensively was their personnel. Compared to Seattle's personnel, and Seattle had to throw the ball in that situation. Seattle had one back and one tight end 11, and New England had 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. There was an unblocked guy, a couple linebackers that would have been unblocked if they ran the ball. So it made sense from that perspective, that formation and that defense. Now, I mean, should Seattle have gone goal line and run the ball? I mean, that's another story. I mean, I had one timeout. I kind of get the rationale that Coach Carroll had, but I always try to find a way to give the ball to Lynch.
Yeah, that's the thing is everybody is saying, Marshawn Lynch should have got that ball. What is Marshawn Lynch feeling? What's that offensive line thinking? Like, as a big guy, don't you want to go out there and push New England into the end zone so you can score?
Oh, for sure. And, I talked to my buddy who's their center for the Seahawks. I didn't bring that up to him. I felt that was kind of too painful even talking about it yet. But I'm sure I'll find out how he felt. But, just knowing how I feel, I mean, I'd be disappointed. I wasn't allowed that chance. I mean, Marshawn had averaged almost 5 yards a carry, so the offensive line had done a good job, kind of run blocking for him throughout the game.
Yeah, as an offensive lineman, Geoff, I mean, you're talking about, and Pete Carroll has said 100 times, they didn't have the right personnel out there. But from your perspective, I mean, when you have one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the game, like you said, the way that they've been running the football so well the entire game, aren't there times where you go, I don't give a damn what our personnel is. We can easily shove this down their throat and get in the end zone. And maybe not the first time, but they had 3 opportunities there with that only being a second and goal.
I mean, you like to think that, and that is our mentality, especially as offensive linemen. But, I mean, if you kind of freeze the defense, compared to that, what the offense was showing, I mean, they had to throw the ball. Now, whether or not that was the right decision, I mean, that could be debated. But I think the call to throw the ball in that look was right. I think they should have done something differently and given the ball to Lynch. But, Belichick did a good job kind of not calling timeout and kind of got Seattle maybe a little off their rhythm and got them rushing a little bit. If they had called timeout, they probably would have settled on a much better play, maybe Wilson rolling out or a play action fake and hitting somebody. So that was kind of interesting strategic move by Belichick.
How much of that was just a great play by Malcolm Butler? Like, he just blows up Ricardo Lockett.
Oh, it was a great play. I mean, I think all the credit goes to him. I mean, and I don't think you can even blame Wilson for the throw. I think when he saw he was open, he made a decision to pull the trigger. Obviously, Butler did an exceptional job, and I think that goes back to his preparation. He's said in interviews since then that they ran that play in practice. He got beaten on it. He was ready for it in the Super Bowl. And that's something that that you love to see is a guy that takes a mistake in practice and makes it a positive in the game.
Geoff Schwartz, Giants offensive lineman with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. And Geoff, the way that Tom Brady picked apart the Legion of Boom and found holes in that defense unlike any other quarterback has, now that he has 4 Super Bowl rings, is Tom Brady the best quarterback ever?
He's definitely up in the argument. I grew up a Montana fan, and he's won 4 Super Bowls now. He's been there 6 times. He's been to 8, 9 AFC Championship games. I mean, some of this stuff is pretty incredible, and definitely being a defense like that is definitely kind of a cherry on top of the cake right there.
Geoff, when we talked to you on Radio Row right before the Super Bowl, you said it was going to be a close game. Did it live up to what you expected it to be?
Oh, it was a great Super Bowl. I think that both teams played well, and it's kind of exactly what I thought it would be early on, and then Seattle kind of took control. I was kind of surprised at the way they kind of took that game over, and then New England made that comeback. And I picked New England by 3 or 4 points, so I'm not terribly surprised at the outcome. And
go ahead, pat your back.
It was a good game. As a fan, it was exactly what I wanted.
But you can go ahead and pat yourself on the back. Say it a little louder. You picked them 3 or 4 points. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a humble brag. But I did change that though for to 7 points. When I saw that they actually announced the actual injuries that Sherman and Thomas had. They never really said what was wrong with them until like right before game time until Michelle Tafoya like announced what they had. And I kind of thought the game would go a little differently, but New England kind of stuck to their offense, and sometimes just kind of sticking to your flow and knowing who you are, will get you over the top. That's what they did.
Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Jeff, we were shocked. Odell Beckham Jr. was the biggest star of Radio Row. We're talking more than Drew Brees, more than Kurt Warner. Odell Beckham Jr. had a larger crowd. He was an absolute celebrity for that week and a half in Phoenix, Arizona. Were you surprised by the stardom that this guy carried with him and is continuing to carry with him now?
By the way, did you see the dunks that he posted yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's a 10-foot basket, right? I mean, it's hard to tell because it's like it wasn't like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he did a second video where he proves it's 10.
He's not terribly tall. His stardom is not surprising because he's a good kid and he's outgoing and he kind of understands the moment and he's capitalized on it. Good for him, and he definitely deserves it. He played well at the end of the season, and going forward, I think he knows what it takes to work and to put in the time, and he's only going to get better from here.
Jeff, he's young. He's 22. I mean, I think of me.
I know.
When I was 22 years old, I'm going to go band nerd on you. I was the first band nerd in Texas Tech University history to win Homecoming King. And as a tuba dorky band nerd, that went to my head. I got all cocky, move, get out the way. And I'm looking at my situation, and no one gave a crap about me. Odell Beckham Jr., the amount of attention he's gotten, I mean, you as a leader on this offense, is there any fear or is it just being aware that, hey, we might need to just help this guy keep an even keel?
Yeah, I think that we have good leaders on the offense. Me, Eli, and Rashad, and especially it's very. Odell's very lucky he has a guy like Victor Cruz to talk to look up to get guidance from. Because Vic, kind of that stardom came on Vic really quick too. It wasn't like he was kind of drafted high and then slowly built up. I mean, he came, hit that long touchdown in the preseason, and the next year, boom, he's Victor Cruz. So I think he's got a great role model to look after, to help him. And I have no worries about Odell. He keeps clean off the field at LSU. He's doing everything fine now. He puts in the work, and there seems to be no issue with that kind of off-field stuff. So, while he's hot, might as well do whatever he can.
Jeff, was that a problem with the team before you got there, before Rashad got there? Because I got to be honest, like Rashad coming in last year as a free agent, I didn't expect him to be a leader. I mean, I saw you kind of take the reins at training camp. Was there a lack of leadership in the team before you guys got there?
I don't think so. I just think that we had a lot of older guys that were relied on that that either got injured or were not retained. Up front, obviously losing Chris Snee. I mean, he was the leader of the offensive line, and I came in there and I looked up to Snee and I watched him play a lot of film I've seen of him, and he's an excellent player, obviously, and I always looked up to the way he played the game. So. When he left, when he had to retire, there was a void that was left because he was such a leader on this team. He'd been there the whole time. He'd won the 2 Super Bowls. He made the Pro Bowl. So, there was a void to be filled there. And at the running back position, we had some injuries and some other things happened. And Rashad kind of stepped into that role of being a role model on offense and a leader. And that's what happens kind of on a team. Guys just kind of get recycled out, and new leaders have to step up.
Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen and Levack, 104.5 The Team and 104.5theteam.com. Jeff, signing day this week. What your memories of signing day, your process going from high school and then eventually signing into college?
It's much different now, I'll tell you that. Except the fax machines. You still have to fax the thing in, don't you?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, like now guys are announcing their commitments on Twitter, and you still have to fax in
a
piece of paper. Like some houses don't have I don't have a landline at my place in New Jersey. I don't know how I would fax something to a school.
Yeah, you got to go to Kinko's. You got to go to like a FedEx place.
Yeah. It was mine was simple. I wasn't a 5-star recruit. I knew I was going to Oregon already. I committed to Oregon in December. So I woke up on signing day. I signed my letter of intent. I don't honestly remember if my mom faxed it from the house or faxed it from her office, and then that was it. I went to school and I was an Oregon Duck. I didn't have to do an interview. I didn't have to do anything special. Mind you, I wore an Oregon shirt to school that day. I just knew that I was inducted, and I was excited to be part of that family. And now it's crazy. Guys are pulling hats out. They're doing press conferences. They're tweeting stuff. It's kind of gone over the top, especially for guys that haven't played yet. I mean, they've done nothing. It's kind of intense. It's kind of crazy. They have a lot to live up to.
All right, Geoff, I don't know if you're ready for this kind of hard-hitting journalism. What did you think of the halftime show?
The halftime show, I thought it was great.
Good man.
It was entertaining. Katy Perry, you kind of know what you're going to get with her, and then Missy Elliott came on, and she did a great job. I think the funny part is I saw like some people were retweeting stuff and Instagram stuff of young people, teenagers really, that didn't know who Missy Elliott was.
Yes.
They thought that like Katy Perry was the one who was like pumping up Missy Elliott, when it was kind of vice versa. Because she was hot when I was in high school, and it was kind of crazy to see her come back like that, and people thought that it was Katy Perry who was the one helping her career out.
Any truth to the rumor you were the right shark?
I was not the right shark.
Oh, damn.
I was the left shark, the one that was kind of uncoordinated.
Oh,
He was doing.
You're a little dinged up. That's okay.
That was just like incredible. I mean, the shark, just that whole performance was just special.
Well,
that's the thing. I mean, like I think Super Bowl halftime, it's now become just a huge spectacle, and it's not so much about the music, but just about the costumes and the crazy sets, and that was pretty cool with the lights, what they did with the dancers and
the
all
floor.
that stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, it was the floor was that was the best part. I mean, the music. Katy Perry's okay. I mean,
yeah.
So it was good. It was entertaining. Let's put it like that.
He kissed the girl and he liked it. Giants offensive lineman Geoff Schwartz with Armen Levack, 104.5 The Team. And now we have conflicting reports, by the way, because Snoop Dogg tweeted out that he was the left shark, so we might have to investigate and get to the bottom of that.
The way that shark moved, it could possibly be Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
he had
exactly.
a little too much before the game.
Yeah, post greenery.
Too much what? Yeah, exactly. At Geoff Schwartz on Twitter, a YouTube channel as well. Geoff Schwartz always cooking up some great food around the house. Dude, keep rehabbing, man, and we'll talk to you next week. Always appreciate your time, my brother.
Yeah, sounds good. Talk to you guys later.